Samir sat at his kitchen table, the morning sun filtering through the blinds, casting stripes across a crumpled letter from the Westwood Estates Homeowners Association. His golden retriever, Buddy, sprawled on the rug, gnawing a squeaky toy with lazy enthusiasm. The letter's words burned in Samir's mind. A $500 fine for Buddy's barking and a demand to muzzle him outdoors. His phone was on speaker, and Isar's voice crackled through, sharp with disbelief. $500 for barking, Isar said. What's next? Fining kids for laughing too loud. Samir snorted, rubbing his temples. Don't give Mrs. Con ideas. She'd probably ban Joy by next week. And muzzling Buddy, my buddy, who wags his tail at everyone. It's cruel. It's personal, Isar replied. Ever since you painted that mailbox unapproved blue, she's had it out for you. I know, Samir sighed. But $500. I'm not made of money. Buddy barks at the mailman or those taunting squirrels. He's not howling all night. Buddy lifted his head, letting out a soft woof, as if in agreement. Samir smiled. See, he's got opinions too. His voice hardened. I'm not paying this, Isar. And I'm not muzzling him. I'm going to the HOA meeting tonight to fight this. That's the spirit, Isar cheered. Want me to come? Mrs. Con's already mad about my unauthorized garden gnomes. Samir laughed. Those gnomes are a threat to society. Meet me at the community center at 7. We'll face her together. He tossed the letter aside, watching Buddy chase his tail, oblivious to the drama. Samir's resolve hardened. This was his home, his dog, his life. The HOA wasn't going to bully him into submission. The community center was a sterile box of fluorescent lights and folding chairs. A banner proclaimed Westwood Estates HOA meeting July 20, 2025. Mrs. Con, the HOA president, stood at a podium, her glasses glinting like a hawk's eyes, gavel in hand. Samir and Isar sat in the back, whispering. About 20 neighbors filled the room, including Mr. Ali, a 70-year-old retiree knitting quietly in the corner. Mrs. Con banged her gavel. Order. First item. Noise complaints. Mr. Samir Ahmed approached the podium. Samir adjusted his jacket, clutching his phone with a photo of Buddy. He strode forward, meeting Mrs. Con's icy stare. Mrs. Con, neighbors, he began, voice steady. I got a $500 fine because my dog, Buddy, barked a few times. Now you're demanding I muzzle him. That's unfair and unreasonable. Mrs. Con's lips thinned. Mr. Ahmed, our bylaws state excessive noise is a violation. We received multiple complaints about your dog's barking. The fine stands, and the muzzle is necessary. Multiple complaints. Samir raised an eyebrow. From who? I've talked to my neighbors, and nobody's mentioned a problem. Buddy barks when the mailman comes at 3 p.m., or when squirrels play acrobat on the fence. That's normal. Normal or not, it disturbs the peace. Mrs. Con snapped. Mrs. Qureshi and Mr. Hassan filed complaints. The rules are clear. Isar stood, hands on hips. Hold on. I live next to Samir, and Buddy's barking doesn't bother me. He's a good dog. Maybe Mrs. Qureshi's just mad about her tulips. A few neighbors chuckled. Mrs. Con glared. Miss Isar, this isn't about tulips. It's about order. If we allow one dog to bark, every pet will become a nuisance. Samir held up his phone, showing Buddy's grinning face. This is Buddy. Does this look like a nuisance? He's a golden retriever, not a guard dog. Muzzling him would make him miserable. I'm not doing it. Mr. Ali paused his knitting. Mrs. Con, I've lived here 20 years. Dogs bark. Kids scream. Lawnmowers It's a neighborhood, not the monastery. Can we compromise? Mrs. Con's face tightened. Mr. Ali, the rules are enforceable. Mr. Ahmed, pay the fine and muzzle your dog, or face further penalties, including eviction. Eviction? Samir's voice rose. For a few barks. This is my home. I've paid my dues, kept my yard clean, followed every rule, except that mailbox, which I fixed. You're blowing this out of proportion. Isa turned to the crowd. How many of you have dogs? Several hands rose. And how many bark? More hands. Are we all getting fined next? This is about control, not noise. The room buzzed with murmurs. Some nodded, others shifted uncomfortably. Samir pressed on. I'm not paying until you show me proof of these complaints. And I want a vote on this muzzle rule. It's extreme. Mrs. Khan scoffed. A vote. The board decides policy, not residents. You'll comply, or... Mr. Ali cut in. Actually, the bylaws allow residents to propose amendments with enough signatures. I'd sign Samir's petition. Others would too. The murmurs grew louder. Mrs. Khan's gavel hovered, but Samir smiled faintly. Thank you, Mr. Ali. I'll get those signatures. And I'm not muzzling Buddy. If you want to fight, I'll fight legally if I have to. Mrs. Khan banged her gavel. This discussion is over. Next item. Samir and Isa exchanged a determined glance as they sat. Mr. Ali winked, resuming his knitting. That evening, Samir's backyard glowed under string lights. He, Isa, and Mr. Ali sat on the patio, sipping tea. Buddy lay nearby, chasing a tennis ball with joyful yips. You were on fire, Samir. Isa grinned. Mrs. Khan didn't know what hit her. Samir sipped his tea. I was shaking, but I'm done letting her push me around. Buddy's family, not a problem to fix. Mr. Ali chuckled. You remind me of my younger self, standing up to bullies. Get that petition going. I know 10 neighbours will sign. Samir nodded. Already drafting it. And I'm calling a lawyer tomorrow. If they want a fight, they'll get one. Isa raised her mug. To Buddy, the best dog in Westwood Estates. Samir laughed. To Buddy, and to sticking it to the HOA. Buddy barked happily, as if he understood. The night air was warm, the fight far from over, but Samir felt a spark of hope. He wasn't alone, and Buddy's tail kept wagging. Over the next week, Samir knocked on doors, petition in hand. Neighbours signed readily, some because they loved Buddy, others because they resented Mrs. Khan's iron grip. By Friday, he had 30 signatures, more than enough to force a vote. He also met with a lawyer, who confirmed the HOA's muzzle rule was shaky under local pet laws. At the next meeting, Samir presented his petition. The room was packed, tension thick. Mrs. Khan's face was a mask of displeasure, but the bylaws were clear. The vote was called, and the muzzle rule was struck down 18-2. The fine, however, remained contentious. Samir refused to pay without proof of complaints. Days later, Mrs. Qureshi admitted her complaint was exaggerated. Buddy's barking had startled her once, but she'd been pressured by Mrs. Khan to file it. Mr. Hassan, it turned out, didn't exist. The HOA's case crumbled. The fine was dropped. Samir celebrated with a backyard barbecue, Buddy romping freely. Isa brought her gnomes as a joke, and Mr. Ali gifted Samir a knitted dog sweater. The neighbourhood felt alive, less like a rule book and more like a community. Mrs. Khan's gavel was quieter after that, and Buddy's barks echoed freely. A small victory in a suburban war.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell